I'm Ervinck. I'm an artist from Belgium, and I make work that is something between the physical and the virtual world, something between architecture and design, between technology and craftsmanship, between nature and technology. I made two new pieces especially for this show. They are sort of futuristic masks. They play with the idea of the line in art, the line in history, but at the same time there are sort of technology cyborg flowers that are folding open. That are almost like masks that take over our human face. And it's with a special new technology that is able to 3D print, and a technology that has the possibility to print immediately in color and also print transparency. So as an artist, I'm interested in what is sculpture, what has sculpture been in the history, and how can sculpture be in the future. And with new technology, new ideas can rise. And as an artist, I'm almost making sculptures for the future, sculptures that will be possible in the future, and give a glimpse of the possibilities of the future. And especially in this concept of the new arc, where we are thinking about where we are evolving with the world, especially in this kind of Anthropocene area, where we are aware of the impact of human mankind on the world. How will we deal with it? What is beauty? How do you want that the world evolved? And how will we find solutions for the future generation? And as an artist, you're thinking about the world of today, but you're dreaming about the world of tomorrow. One of the big fascinations I have is a fascination for the negative space. It's actually very clear, but the idea of a whole, the idea of a negative space is only 100 years old. And on one part it's logic, because an artist in the past could only work till well his hand or his chisel could reach. And today, with computer modeling, we are able to design something, to save it, to work further on it, to make more complex ideas, more complex sculptures that our imagination is possible to capture in our mind. We can enter our sculpture inside the computer, and you can have an imaginable detail that was not possible for artists in the past. They say that British artists like Andy Moore and Barbara Hepworth have invented the negative space. Were the first sculptors that were able to make a hole inside sculptures. And that's probably a fascination that will follow me the rest of my life. And of course, in these sculptures you have places that are almost untouchable by human hand, but your eyes are guided inside the sculpture, through the sculpture, around the sculpture. And for me it's a sort of visual poetry. It is a sort of dead matter, dead material that you try to get alive, and in your imagination the sculptures are like a sort of creatures that each moment can start to animate, like we have from the manga movies or the typical Hollywood science fiction movies. So I would invite all of you to really discover these works and get your eyes inside the sculpture and the beauty and the different layers that the sculpture unfolds. The pandemic, Corona, was of course not an evident time for the world, for artists also in general. It was a good moment to think about your work, to think about new concepts, new ideas. So I built a virtual museum of almost 25,000 square meters, where I put 300 of my works in and 300 works of the Louvre, of the Met Museum in New York. So I would invite you to visit my website and discover this virtual space. And if you look very carefully, you will see that again these sculptures are also in the virtual museum, but not as a small sculpture like we see here, but almost like the big lying Buddha from Bangkok, where you suddenly see the sculpture as a 15-30 meter high sculpture in a sort of almost imaginary temple of the future. And this is of course the new techniques that are evolving, the new possibilities, but also a good way for an artist to reflect And I also created a physical book about my virtual museum, because I love to play with these kind of two worlds, and for some people I'm a sort of futuristic artist working with all these new techniques as 3D modeling, 3D scanning, 3D printing, and on the other side I still make classical sculptures in ceramic. And I see myself as one of the last generations, one of the last artists that is with 1 feet in a new world and 1 feet in an old world. And of course I'm dreaming of the inspiration I get from two worlds, and like the virtualization that it gives to empower the two worlds and to create something new.